Hey guys, and welcome back to your one room schoolhouse. In today's video, I am going to share with you our summer schooling plans for my rising first grader and my rising third grader. Now, we are year-round homeschoolers. I actually try to stick more to a Sabbath schedule when I plan our annual year, which means we try to take off, or we school 6 weeks, take off a week. It doesn't always line up that way, but that's like what we try to do. But we like to take a lot more breaks throughout the year, and we find that we're just better if we school consistently throughout the year. There's less backsliding, things like that. So I will actually do a whole video on this. It's actually coming up here very soon, so keep an eye out for it, where I'm going to tell you guys and show you in real time how I plan out our entire year for next school year for 2025 to 2026. Now, with all that being said, our school year this year will be ending May 30th. So we're going to school all the way through May, and then our summer will start June 2nd. But I have found that we are very much better if we do not take off more than 3 weeks from any kind of schooling. So I have found that what works for us is to do a kind of fun summer schooling during the month of June. Then we take off at least 3 weeks in July, and then we start back fresh into a new school year at the end of July, and it's worked out perfectly the last 2 years. So what I'm going to talk to you guys about today is what our plans are for schooling for the month of June, which is our summer schooling is what I call it. So this is a really great opportunity for us to get in fun units, studies, and just keep it really light, but also kind of keep on our language arts, our math, so we don't backslide too much. Like I said, if we take off that 3 weeks in July with no schooling, that's about as far as we can go before it's really tough for us to get back into schooling without forgetting certain things that we need to know about math or language arts or phonics or things like that. So although we keep it light in June, it does have its purpose. It keeps my kids from forgetting too much for the next school year. So first, I was going to just tell you real quick what I'm doing for each kiddo. It's not a whole lot, and then what we're doing as a group for our fun unit that we're going to be studying in June. So what I'll do is I'm first going to go over everything that I plan to do with each of my kids individually, as well as what we plan to do together. And then at the end of this, I have a document. I'll actually share it with you guys so you can see. I've even put out our schedule, what it's going to look like, and you'll see it. It seems like it might be a lot, but it's actually pretty light when you put it out across the schedule, how many days we're doing things, which isn't a lot. So you'll see. Okay guys, let's start off with my youngest daughter, Charlotte. She is currently in kindergarten. She'll be in first grade next year. She is 5 years old and will be turning 6 at the end of August. So she is a very young kindergarten and will continue to be young for her grade. It's just gonna be how her birthday falls. So just a quick background on her because we're about to talk about math. She was doing Math Mammoth grade 1, at the beginning of this year. She got halfway through that program, and I kind of was like, let's take a break. You're way ahead. I want you to kind of catch up in maturity. So I printed off some of the lessons from The Good and the Beautiful Math 1 for her to use to kind of let her hang out for a little bit, work on her math facts, figure out place value a little better, things like that. And that worked really well for us, and it's still working really well for us. We're actually on to Unit 2 now with Math 1. She'll be pretty close to, or if not have finished Unit 2 in this book by the time we're done with this school year. What I want to do is I'm going to stop this. We're not going to do Math Mammoth. I've actually decided for the summer, I'm going to have her do Addition Facts That Stick by Kate Snow. It's basically all the fun games from her grade 1 curriculum, just in a condensed book that you can do over 6 weeks. We're going to be doing that 3 times a week. And we're just gonna play. We're gonna play math. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna really make sure those addition facts are solid in her brain. I wanna make sure she has a good sense, a number sense, before we roll into our official first grade year. Then my plan, well, let's just say, backtrack. For the summer, if she wants anything that she wants to do that's writing, that's not games, I'll let her continue lessons in here if she wants. Then my plan is when we start back up school officially for next school year for first grade, I would like us to go back to Math Mammoth, pick up where she was in her first grade book, and continue on from there. If that doesn't go well, or she doesn't like it, or she's resistant to the idea, which I doubt she will be because she just likes any math I put in front of her, then we'll come back to this and continue where we left off with here. But at this point, she's gone halfway through this program for first grade, halfway through math for first grade, and she hasn't started first grade yet. So I'm like, I just want you to play this summer. Let's do some math playing. Let's have fun 3 days a week. And then we'll get serious again with math when first grade year officially starts. Next, for my kindergartner, we are going to do language arts 2 days a week. So we're going to alternate math. So math on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, language arts Tuesday, Thursday. She is just swimming along with level K. We switched to this for the Good and the Beautiful at the beginning of February, I think is when we officially switched. And she is just rocketing through it. She's over halfway through it. She's on lesson 67 and there's 120 lessons in here. My hope is that we will either finish by the end of May or be pretty close to it, but either way, we'll have her do this if we finish up, or if we don't finish up with it, we'll just keep going through the summer. If she does finish up with this, we'll just move on to level 1 for the Good and the Beautiful Language Arts 2 times a week for during June. And then next year, since we'll have caught up and we'll be back on grade, since we started this halfway through the school year, I'll bring us down to 3 to 4 times a week that we'll be doing language arts next school year, doing level 1. And the other 2 things that I wanted to do with my youngest daughter is just literature readings. There's 2 books that my oldest daughter did from Ambleside Online Year 1 this year that I don't want my youngest to miss out on because we're not doing the full Ambleside Online Year 1 program next year. And the 2 that I really want her to read are 50 Famous Stories Retold. My oldest daughter loved these and my kindergartner didn't sit in on these, and I think she'll really like these. So we'll do 1 to 2 readings a day just for fun. It'll take like 10 minutes, if that. And the other one that she is going to do this summer with me is Paddle to the Sea. My oldest, again, one she's really enjoying. She's loving it. She'll do the map work too. I'll print off a blank map for her to kind of trace out where paddle goes. And she'll have a really good time with this. I just love all the illustrations. And this is a whole chapter. That's how simple it is. We'll just do 1 a day. So it really won't be that heavy lifting when it comes to reading. And that's it for my kindergartner rising first grader. That's wild. I have to get used to saying first grade now. All right, now on to my rising third grader. So for math, it's not her favorite subject, but I'm still gonna have her do it a little bit. I'm gonna have her do 2 days a week through June, so summer school. And I'm gonna have her just continue with her lessons with Math Mammoth. We are almost done with workbook 2B, so there is a chance she might finish this before summer. If she doesn't finish it before summer, she'll just keep going with the lessons that we have in here. If she does finish, or she finishes partway through the summer, I'll have her then pick up the lessons in Math Mammoth's skills review workbook. This is a little different than this is the main curriculum. This is something different. This is literally, it correlates with the lessons in the grade book for the curriculum, but what it is, it's like for Chapter 3, Skills Review 24. It's just a 1-page skills review, just going over the things that you were being taught in Chapter 3 in here. So I'll just use this to kind of keep her math skills, up to date, make sure she still feels comfortable, so that we'll take that little break in July, and then when she comes back into school next year for 3rd grade and we get into Math Mammoth 3, she'll feel really comfortable with all the things that she learned in here because she'll have reviewed them all summer in here. So it's really light, nothing serious. It won't be too much for her, but it'll keep her math skills sharp, and that's all I'm looking for this summer. Next, for my rising 3rd grader, with regards to language arts, that's actually her favorite. I'm gonna have her do it 3 times a week, and she is gonna keep on keeping on with the Good and the Beautiful Language Arts Level 2. She actually just hit halfway through the program. She's on lesson 60. Again, we started these with both of my girls at the beginning of February this year, so we've only been doing them February, March, April. Yeah, so we've only been doing them for about 3 months, so I'm happy with the progress we've made. Again, I'm not worried about them catching up, but I think it would be nice to be on grade if we can, and just not do it 5 days a week and end up just doing it 3 days a week next year for school. So we will continue with this during the summer for her. She'll do 3 lessons a week. If she ends up finishing this during the summer or before the summer starts, we'll just move on to level 3 because she's really enjoying it. The readers that go along with it, she just likes it. It's fun for her. So I think that'd be great for her to do throughout the summer. And the last thing that I'm gonna have my rising 3rd grader do is read. Read every day. 20 minutes, that's all I'm asking for her. We'll do like a quiet time reading session of 20 minutes after lunch or something, and she can sit down and read one of her books. She's working through the Magic Treehouse series. That's super fun for her to read right now, so let her do that. We are going to get a few readers from The Good and the Beautiful that are on par for level 3. Let her read through those. I don't care, whatever she wants to read. Just I want her to devour literature, and that's all I want her to do this summer. So that'll be like in the downtime in the afternoons when we've maybe gotten back from the pool or something and she just wants to relax and read in her bed. So that's what we're gonna do every day with her. Okay, and then last but not least, things that we're gonna do together as a group. 2 things. I'm telling you guys, we're going super light in June. It's really not that much, and I'll show you on the schedule what it looks like. So the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to read through Viking Tales. We are currently reading this collectively right now, but we're only going to make it through part 1 of the book. That was actually what was scheduled for Ambleside Online Year 1, and we're having a really good time learning about the Vikings, Norway, Iceland, all that culture. And I didn't realize it. Here, I'll show you the table of contents. Ambleside Online only schedules part 1, and that's all I had scheduled. And I was like, oh, stinker, we're gonna miss out on part 2. So the girls were like, let's just read it during June. So we're just gonna throw a reading in every other day. And they're super short, so it won't take that long. And the writing is not terribly small. And they're very, very quick stories. So we'll read that every other day or so and finish up part 2 before we start next school year. And then the last thing, which the girls and I are like super excited about, that we will be doing is we are going to be doing the unit from The Good and the Beautiful, Science, Little Hearts and Hands, Bones and Stones. So it's super gentle. It's super gentle. I can't talk, y'all. And it's super relaxed. But super fun and literature based, and there's we're going to be doing some activities with it. We'll be reading books or stories, out of the big book of science stories, and we'll be basically just doing one lesson. Here, let me pull out the content so you can see it. We'll be doing about 1 lesson per day, and they generally take about 15 to 20 minutes at most. And the great thing about this is it covers paleontology, geology, dinosaurs, all the rocks, the rock cycle. We get into geography a little bit about maps and continents and zones of the world. And it's literally, I feel like, written for my children. My oldest daughter is super into geology. She comes home with rocks in her pockets and gems and things she finds out on our nature hikes. And I'm just like, it's just such a passion of hers, and I love it. And then my youngest daughter is really into paleontology. She is my dino girl. She looks at me all the time and goes, Mommy, I'm a dino nerd. And I'm like, I love that. That is the best. She literally told me she wants to work as a paleontologist or as a curator in a museum in the dinosaur fossils section. I don't even know if that's a job, but we'll figure it out. So I felt like this was right up our alley. It says it is scheduled and created towards kindergarten through 2nd grade. However, since my kiddos are both literally at the very end of their age range for their grades, they're very young for their grades, I really felt like this wouldn't be a problem for my oldest daughter to do this summer, especially because the material is like right up her alley. Because literally if she had been born a month later, she would technically be a rising 2nd grader this year per my state scheduling. And in other states, she would be a 2nd grader. We have a later birth date in our state. So I'm not worried about her being bored with this summer. However, I am making a change. I'm going to have a whole new video series coming out about changes that we're making to our curriculum next year. I am going to make a change with my oldest daughter's science. She will not be doing Little Hearts and Hands next year. So for our school year, my youngest will, but my oldest will be doing something different. So keep an eye out. I will be posting maybe 1 or 2. I might have to do 2 videos on that just so it's not super long. Kind of going over the updates and changes we're making for our curriculum for next year based on some things that happened and changes that we made and want to do and all that good stuff. So keep an eye out for that to see what she will be doing for science next year. But we're super stoked to do this one. This is going to be a fun one this summer. All right, last but not least, I was going to share with you my little printout that I made that is super duper simple. So hopefully this isn't too shaky. Maybe I should have just done this on the computer. So see here, I have Charlotte, I have her math that we're doing, her language arts, and the literature that we're going to be reading together. And then I have my daughter Emery, who's going into third grade. I have her math, language arts, and her lit, just independent reading, and then their group subjects right here. So here's what I've done. I've created a Monday through Friday template. I have my CB, Charlotte Barfield, my youngest daughter's core, my oldest daughter's core stuff that she's going to do, and then her group. So if you look at it, I mean, we shouldn't be doing more than an hour and a half of school every day. So my plan is to do our schooling, be done by mid-morning probably, and then roll out to the pool or play golf if the girls want to go play golf. That's literally how I plan to spend our summer. Truly, we'll learn a little bit, have a little fun, and then go get out some vitamin D, get some exercise, do some swimming, do some golfing. I really plan to have like a really relaxed summer, and it'll get even more relaxed in July when we drop all of this and just do the pool and the golf, hopefully. So there's also a very strong chance we will be training a puppy, because we're starting to look at that. Bringing in a second dog for Miss Sage over here. So my hands might not be that relaxed, and they might be very full this summer. So who knows? I might get on here and be like, we only did the science because there was puppy craziness going on in our house. So I'll keep you guys updated on that, where that goes. So, all right, y'all, that's it. If you have any questions about anything I talked about in this video, leave them down in the comments. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.